Good morning, and thank you for joining us for another edition of the Football Feed with Queen City News Feed. I'm Cash Matlock, and as always, I'm joined by Rob Allen. Rob, how you doing today?
Doing well. Another big week of games all over the area. And, of course, it's a big weekend of college football, which I know we're going to get into everything coming up.
Yeah, and I was talking to somebody this morning, and it's kind of crazy that high school football is nearing the end, right? We're past the halfway point.
It's unbelievable. I told someone the other day, like, when you're getting prepared for the first game, it takes forever to get prepared for that first game. But once you get past that, you look up and, boom, you're in mid-October. And, well, we're in mid-October. So, but yeah, for some schools they've only got 3 more regular season games, and for most it's 4. But still, we're in the home stretch. I mean, we're in the home stretch.
4 weeks will be over before you know it.
Absolutely.
So. All right, man. Well, first, before we get started here, I do want to take some time out to thank our sponsors. I want to start off with Tammy Thompson's Bell Bonds 101. She is an official sponsor of the Football Feed with Queen City News Feed. If you need help fast, Tammy Thompson's Bell Bonds 101 is always on call, serving Lauderdale, Clark, Newton, and surrounding counties with confidential 24/7 support. Emphasis on that confidentiality, Rob, there.
Well, it's not going to be so confidential if you get cuffed in the stands at one of the games on Friday nights, but she'll keep the other part confidential.
Right, yeah. You may be on Queen City News Feed's arrest report
You might
page.
be, but Tammy's got you covered on the right end.
Right, and of course you can visit Tammy at 600 Constitution Avenue, Meridian, Mississippi. That's downtown Meridian. You can call 601-513-9588 anytime, or you can Google Tammy Thompson's Bell Bonds, find them on Facebook, and you can also find them on TikTok and Instagram.
Fantastic.
Which you know, that I didn't realize you could find the Bell Bond place on TikTok, but you can. You can find Tammy on TikTok. So
we need to make a fun video with Tammy for her TikTok page.
Arrest me or something, or come and bail me out.
Come and bail me out. Help me, Tammy. Help me.
Yes, but we have a whole host of other sponsors. I'll let you take it over, Rob, and then I'll kind of come in after you.
Well, I tell you what, can't say enough great things about Jason and the amazing staff down at All-Star Team Sports. Of course, with All-Star Team Sports, you can get everything imaginable down there, from sports T-shirts. There you see football jerseys, hats, stadium seats. See a lot of people go to high school football games now because they have a lot of those metal bleachers.
Yeah.
Bring you a stadium chair there, and of course you can get those down there at All-Star Team Sports. Stuff for cheerleading as well. Sporting goods galore. Of course, basketball season is going to be starting in less than 3 weeks. And, of course, they can customize jerseys down there for your teams. Whatever you need, All-Star Team Sports is kind of like your one-stop shop for everything, from uniforms and sporting goods and more. But there you see the number on your screen, 601-483-7385, and they do an amazing job down there at All-Star Team Sports, even on shirts just like this,
yeah,
and I'm wearing this morning.
Go ahead and give us a twirl, Rob. Give us a twirl. 360. You can see it's fully customized.
What is that boy doing over there?
We're going to get a call from Jason in a minute. He's going to be like, I'm pulling the sponsor.
You asked for a twirl. I gave you a chair twirl.
Yeah,
but,
you gave me 2 twirls.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, man. Well, let's. We also want to thank our other sponsor. That is Ujjwal Kumar. He is he's the representative of the Dillard's men's department at Uptown Meridian. He is also an official sponsor of the Football Feed, and he is the expert when it comes to men's fashion, when it comes to luxury shopping, when it comes to building your wardrobe from the ground up, or just kind of freshening up what you already have. You can customize your suits. You can get custom liners. You can get custom cufflinks. And here's a picture of me wearing 2 different suits that I got from Ujjwal that he dressed me when I emceed the Dillard's fashion show, which, by the way, that was a thing they used to do years ago, and they brought that back last year.
Nice.
Had another one this year. And just a great guy. You can call him at 601-686-1129, or you can just go to Dillard's and ask for Ujjwal. Before you ask for him, he'll probably find you in the store because he's on it. I mean, he's
fantastic.
Always on the sales floor, and great guy there, and definitely knows how to dress.
Fantastic. And also, we have a new sponsor.
A new sponsor.
A new sponsor.
We need a
this
sound
week.
effect or something. Da-da-da-da-da. We need the air horn.
This episode is brought to you by Brick House in downtown Meridian. Of course, they're right in the heart of downtown Meridian. They're at 2206 Front Street. And if you're looking for a place with a larger selection of craft beer in Mississippi and some seriously good handcrafted food, Brick House is the spot for you, whether you're catching the game, hanging out with friends, or just kicking back for a long week. They've got everything covered for you. And got to give a big shout out to Bill. He's a huge Michigan fan. Go Blue. And that's all you Mich fans out there. Of course, Michigan's got a big game coming up this week. And you can check them out online at brickHouseBar.com. That is Brick, HOUSbar.com, or you can stop by and see why Brickhouse Boutique is where Meridian goes to unwind. So go Blue this weekend for Bill and the staff down there at Brickhouse, and a great spot to catch the games as well coming up this week. And I'm pretty sure the Michigan game's going to be on down there this weekend. I would imagine.
I have a feeling. And Rob, you wore blue just for Bill.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, this is not exactly the Michigan Blue. They're kind
close
enough, but it's close enough. So there you go. But yeah, of course, Michigan won the national title not too long ago. So trying to get back into that mixture. But yeah, appreciate Brickhouse in downtown Meridian. So
we could have a whole show just talking about all of my experiences at the Brickhouse. Honestly,
so that's why you need Tammy so much.
That's why I know Tammy.
That's
personally.
why you know Tammy personally.
Yeah. All right, we were Rob. We were chatting earlier about how all these sponsors kind of tie together. Yeah,
well, we did. You have to have some lighthearted humor with some of this. All right, so you get a suit made.
Yeah. Then you get it customized. At All Star.
All Star. You get you a monogram put on there, and then after that, you drink away your woes after a loss at the Brick House, and then when things get out of hand,
you call Tammy.
So everything somehow intertwines itself together.
The stars have aligned.
We love our sponsors; they're amazing. So
yes, awesome. Okay, Rob. Well, let's go ahead and start talking about high school football. That's what people want to know about. And let's kick it off with the 3 games that you can actually hear because we broadcast them here locally.
Yep, there you see them on the screen, and these are all district games this week. So everything from this point forward, well, I say everything from this point forward. I know Lamar's next game is not a district game after this week, but these are 3 big ones right here, and a lot of different stories going into all 3 of these games. I guess we can start with West Lauderdale and Leake Central first, but this is a must-win for the Knights coming up tomorrow night. They lost. I was a little surprised they lost to Newton County at home like they did this past week. I know West Lauderdale's coming in at 3-3, not the kind of season that we're accustomed to for West Lauderdale. And now you've got to, as I like to always say, you have to flush that and move on.
Yeah.
And it's a quick turnaround because now you have to go on the road against Leake Central and just kind of put that game in the past. But this is a big must-win for West Lauderdale because a lot of the so-called experts here in the state had West Lauderdale winning this district. Well, this district has become a little better than a lot of folks thought. Newton County got the win against West last week. Choctaw Central is a lot better than what a lot of folks thought. They've only got 1 loss. So this is a must-win for West Lauderdale going on the road because, Cash, if you drop to 0-2 and you still got 3 games left after this, then you're fighting just to get in the playoffs somehow.
Right.
And they still have to play Choctaw Central and, of course, their rival, Northeast Lauderdale. We know how that might work out. That'll be a pretty tight ball game. But this is a must-win for West Lauderdale tomorrow night at Leake Central.
Okay, so I'm going to be the biased one, and I'm going to root for the team that's always closer to home.
Exactly.
So I'm hoping they pull through.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine in this one, but still being on the road after a tough home loss last week, we'll see what the mentality is. But, of course, if you can't make it to Leake Central, no worries. We got you covered over on Q101, of course, Q101radio.com and the mobile app. And
101.3
FM. So good luck to the Knights and that big road game, a must-win road game tomorrow night.
All righty, let's take it on down to Lamar, which is a team that you might be a little biased about.
A little biased there. Lamar going up to Starkville Academy. I'm tired of going on the road. This is 3 straight on the road for Lamar. We were looking at the schedule this year, and the 3 of the first 4 were on the road. This is finishing up a 3-game road stretch, 6 road games on the schedule already. I don't think I've ever been through a season like this, but this will wrap up the road schedule of the season. The next 2 will be at home. But, of course, Lamar had the tough job of going over to Hartfield Academy last week. And, boy, Hartfield had some great athletes. They have one young man, Braylon Bowman, who is going to Auburn next year. He's a 5-star recruit, and he was back healthy last week, and he was as good as you'll see. But, Yeah, that was a game that Lamar did not really expect them to win that one. It was a tough challenge for them, but now they are going to play Starkville Academy. These two teams have always been, I wouldn't say rivals, but the games have always been super exciting. Starkville is probably going to be one of the better defenses that Lamar is going to see all season. And you have to wonder Lamar's mentality going into the game after they got thumped pretty good last week, 42-7.
Yeah.
You go back on the road again, and this is a big 3-game stretch because now you're starting to talk about playoffs for Lamar. And this is a district game against Starkville. You got Winston next week, and then you got Heritage, another district opponent to wrap up the season. But it's going to be interesting. I expect a fairly low-scoring game here because Lamar's defense is pretty doggone good. Starkville's is too. So, and what's funny about this, you're going to see 2 ninth-grade running backs in this game tomorrow night. Lamar has Joe Morrow, who's a ninth grader who has been called up from junior high. He's going to probably get a lot of snaps. And then there's the Mullins kid up at Starkville Academy. He's also a starting running back for the varsity team at ninth grade. So you're going to see 2 ninth graders going up against each other tomorrow night. So
That'll be interesting.
You don't see that too often.
The battle of the ninth graders.
And going back to Joe Morrow, this was a really cool moment last week. We got a little emotional about this last week. Lamar's only touchdown was scored by Joe Morrow. He just got called up from junior high to the varsity team. Well, guess who blocked for him to score his touchdown? His big brother, Luke Morrow, who's a senior. So how cool was that?
Really cool.
They made that play call that Luke blocked for little brother Joe for the touchdown.
And see, it's an unfair advantage because they've been practicing in their backyard their whole life.
Absolutely. And here's the thing about it. They have an older brother, Tripp, who just played for Lamar a couple of seasons ago. So it's just a lineage of Morrows out there. But I thought that was a cool moment.
Really cool.
Big brother blocking for little brother. But they're pretty tight family. I thought that was a cool story from this past week.
That's awesome. And all those practices kind of paid off, I suppose.
Exactly.
All that time spent in the backyard.
Absolutely. So big game for Lamar. Of course, it'll be over on OKK, 97 OKK, and, of course, the OKK mobile app and 97okk.com. But big game tomorrow night to wrap up this both pilgrimage of a road trip this year.
Both have very loyal fan bases. I used to live about a block from Starkville Academy. And they take it very seriously.
Yeah, Starkville's a great campus. It's a good program. Chase Nicholson, who has some ties here locally to the Newton County area, is the head coach up there. He's been up there about 10-plus years, but they run a great program. It's a great school up there, and be a big challenge for Lamar.
All righty. Well, what about Oak Grove at Meridian? Interesting season for Meridian.
It has been an interesting season for Meridian. I know they didn't have homecoming quite go their way this past week against Pearl.
But what about that parade, though?
The parade was fantastic.
It was large.
I mean, it was a big parade.
It was large.
Well, and you love to see that because the enthusiasm is coming back.
Yeah.
The enthusiasm behind the program is
coming
coming
back. And all the alumni love to come back.
I mean, they really do. But when you talk about games, I don't care what the records are, Meridian, Oak Grove, this is a rivalry game.
Yep.
I can attest to this. When I was at Meridian,
throw everything out the door.
They don't like us. We don't like them.
Yeah.
It's going to be intense. I mean, I could tell you some stories, but I won't share them on air because they're pretty intense. I mean, that's just how heated. That's how heated this rivalry is. I remember probably one of the greatest Meridian Oak Grove matchups was the South State Championship. Oak Grove came to Meridian, and if you can imagine Ray Stadium and its glory years, how big it is.
Oh yeah,
that place was packed out for that ball game.
Yeah.
But we'd love to see that type of crowd for this one. Meridian, those kids deserve a big audience for this one against Oak Grove. It's going to be a challenge. Oak Grove's probably one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the state. Meridian's going to be a heavy underdog in this one, but you know what? Seen crazier things happen before.
Yeah.
When you get up for a rivalry game like this against Oak Grove, you just never know what might happen. But should be a good one. It will be over on 95.1 The Beat tomorrow night with Charlie and Neil, and they'll do a great job on the broadcast and, of course, the Beat app and, of course, on the website.
And, Neil's been doing some really fantastic halftime.
Yeah, absolutely.
Halftime interviews. I know last week they had Laura Carmichael with us at Meridian. I haven't heard who's going to be on this week, but I'm sure I'll hear later today, and we'll post that. And but Neil Henry is the Meridian Regional President for Citizens National Bank. He's doing a great job with the color commentating, and I look forward to his halftime shows every week. I've called a couple of them, like in the car driving, and I've enjoyed who he's had on so far.
I just thought of one clean story I can tell about the Meridian Oak Grove rivalry. I've thought of one.
Great.
It took one. I've got one.
Okay.
So this was, I don't even remember what season it was. We get to Oak Grove, and they have a nice facility. I mean, it's a beautiful stadium, beautiful press box, the whole 9 yards. So when you're the visitors, you always get probably the least nicest part of the stadium.
Yeah,
so we get into the corner. We're in a little corner of the press box. We walk in there. There's trash everywhere, and we're kind of cleaning it up as we go. I'm like, okay, this is the way this is going to be. We look down on the floor, and there's 2 cans of wasp spray. So this got me a little concerned. There was a wasp nest under the desk. We had to kill wasp before the broadcast, and we had a broom, and we were cleaning up wasp carcasses.
They did that on purpose.
I think they did that on purpose.
They said put them in the wasp nest.
So we knew from that point on, well, we might have a future as exterminators. I don't know.
Right.
So that's just one of those fun stories of the rivalry. But yeah, those games have been intense for years, and I have no doubt this is going to be the same. So.
Well, I'm looking forward to your war story next week. Hopefully you'll hear something.
I've got plenty of them. So I could tell you about the time I called a game in a tree stand at East Rankin. That was always fun. So that's a true story. My feet were dangling during the ball game calling a game in Pelahatchie, Mississippi in a tree stand.
Now, if that ain't country, I don't know what
that's straight Mississippi backwoods stuff right there. So, but we had fun. Somebody said we need to write a book one day because we got all these stories, but that was probably one of the fun ones. So
I'd read it. Well, I'd buy it.
I'd give you one.
Yeah. All right, man. So let's see what other high school matchups we got. You want to start off with Clarkdale at Mize?
Yeah.
Or Mize at Clarkdale?
Yeah, Mize at Clarkdale right there at the top. And, Clarkdale lost their first game last week. It was a tough – it was tough. Union still undefeated.
We had a good streak.
It was a good run, but I still say Clarkdale's probably one of our better teams in the area right now. I have seen Mize. Lamar played Mize earlier this year. As long as Clarkdale can contain that one player that Mize has that's their really good running back, Clarkdale at home, I think they should be fine there. Quitman having homecoming this week against Northeast Lauderdale. So Quitman celebrating their homecoming. Russell Christian has got Victory Christian this week. That'll be a home game there for the Warriors. Southeast Lauderdale started to string a few things together as far as the wins go, but they get a tough challenge. They got to go to Union, who is undefeated, who just beat Clarkdale this past week.
Okay.
Then you got Choctaw Central. We mentioned them earlier. They've got one loss. They're taking on Newton County.
I think I jinxed Clarkdale when I called Union Onion. And I think I did.
See,
I think it's
your
my
fault.
I think it is. I think I ruined it.
Can't do that, man.
I know. I'll learn my lesson.
Choctaw Central in Newton County. It's a big district game for those two. You got Neshoba Central in Canton, and then the Newton Tigers taking on Scott Central. Philadelphia, one of our winless teams in the area. They take on Velma Jackson Enterprise in Taylorsville. And then you've got Kemper County and Eupora, Heidelberg. Of course, we're still thinking about our friends down in Heidelberg after the tragic situation that happened this past week. And I want to circle back around to that here in just a second. They got Bay Springs, Wayne County and Van Cleve, and then a few academy games there at the bottom of the screen. Wayne Academy in Columbia, Kemper Academy in Calhoun, and then Newton County Academy in Silva Bay. And the reason I want to circle back around to Heidelberg, the governing body of the MHSAA, I don't know if you saw this earlier this week, they are encouraging a lot of the schools, like the public schools, to maybe for right now kind of cease the tailgating stuff. Yeah. I don't know if, obviously that's probably a reaction from what happened in Heidelberg and, of course, Leland as well. Right. But they are asking schools to kind of maybe halt those type of tailgating scenes there at games. So
it was a weekend across the state.
It was.
And our thoughts and our prayers are with all those families affected. I know, just reporting the news this week, I mean, you've heard, it's been our top story all week because there's just new information that comes out every day about each one of those. Yeah. And we're just, things like that. There's nothing to say except for, we're praying for the families, and it's just truly unfortunate. Yeah,
it's very unfortunate because these games where it happened, these are celebratory events. I mean, homecoming is probably the big game that, like you said, alumni come back for. Meridian just had homecoming this past week, and it's a time to celebrate and be together and get behind the team and celebrate, yesteryears of being in school and whatnot. And then
not to bring nonsense.
Absolutely. But just thinking about Heidelberg, and I know that'll be an emotional game for them coming up this week. So wish the Oilers all the best. That will be a home game, by the way, against Bay Springs. So, and I'm pretty sure they'll take all the proper precautions and whatnot for that ball game.
I know I know the police chief spoke out for the summer this week, and you can read more about that on QueenCityNewsweek.com.
So go Oilers, and good luck to them tomorrow night. It'll be an emotional scene down there at their stadium.
Well, let's kind of switch gears here, and on a lighter note, let's talk about JUCO.
JUCO football.
And then we'll move on to college football.
Absolutely. And there you see the two JUCO games, and, of course, always have to throw in the UWA Tigers. Jones and East Central, a couple of our area teams going to tangle tonight. That game will be over in Decatur, and, man, does East Central need a win. Gosh, they are in desperate search of a win. It has been a tough season over at EC this year. Jones has been kind of up and down this year, so that should be that's a tough one to call. East Central, boy, they're hungry for one tonight. East Mississippi, they have really bounced back since the early season struggles. They beat Northeast Mississippi this past Saturday, but they get the Pearl River Wildcats up in Scuba tonight. Should be a good scene for that ball game. And then the undefeated UWA Tigers getting ready to take on West Florida over in Livingston on Saturday. And, of course, Scott Cochran just cannot say enough about what he's done over there in UWA in his very first season at the helm there at UWA. So, of course, they have homecoming coming up next week over there at UWA with a lot of festivities.
You ever get tired of hearing homecoming? It's like, the
homecoming.
I feel like the first two, I'm like, yeah, it is homecoming season.
Right.
And now I'm like, y'all are still having homecoming?
Y'all still doing homecoming stuff. I mean, really?
It's been 2 months.
I know, right? So, but yeah, UWA is a great story, undefeated, and they'll have West Florida. That's a night game on Saturday night at 6. So.
Okay, awesome. Well, let's take it on down to college football.
College football.
Ole Miss at Georgia.
This is the big one. This is the game of the week. College game day is going to be in Athens. It's going to be a great scene.
Which Athens is beautiful, by the way. Not to throw them a bone or anything, but
not to throw them a bone or anything.
But I have been to Athens one time, and I really liked it. I mean, it's beautiful, and that campus is beautiful.
And that's where the game's going to be.
And that's where it stops.
Yeah, that's where it stops. That's where it stops.
That's where my compliments end.
But this is the game of the week. Ole Miss and Georgia. Ole Miss still undefeated. Ole Miss had a big scare this past week against Washington State. They were a 30-plus point favorite. And you're going to have those games. It's going to happen. Everybody has that one, maybe 2 games a year where things just aren't going right. Yeah. But you know what? The great teams find a way to win and overcome that. And that's what Ole Miss did this past week against Washington State, an opponent that you probably should beat by several touchdowns, but they found a way to take care of business there. Georgia looked a little sluggish against Auburn last week, and were able to win that one, by not as many points as I thought.
Yeah.
So 2 teams that kind of were a little bit sluggish going in, but we'll see what happens in this one. I know Georgia is a slight favorite at home, I believe, by a touchdown, but I'm gonna tell you what, Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin, I think they're going to be up for this game. It's not going to be a night game, and I think that's what helps Ole Miss right here. Because if that was a night game, it's a little bit of a different situation in Athens, because it's a tough place to go in and win at night.
I can't see very well at night either. So.
Well, they got all those flashing lights now and everything they do.
What do they call it? Cataracts? No, not cataracts. What is it? No, astigmatism. The stadium lights.
I like you know what? I like Ole Miss here. People think I'm crazy, but I like them to win this football game. I really do. I don't think Georgia is the same Georgia team. Now, and the thing about it is, a lot of people are like, I can't believe this happened this week. We are in a different era of college football where you're not going to see the same 2 or 3 teams be so dominant every year. Now, Georgia may come out there and hang 30 on them and win by 30. You just don't know what's going to happen week to week, and that's what makes college football so hard to pick now because of just the NIL stuff, the transfer portal, and everything else. But I think Ole Miss has got a little bit better personnel. I think the big challenge for Georgia is going to be they have a lot of injuries on the offensive line, especially at left and right tackle, that they had issues with last week against a pretty good Auburn pass rush. But this is the game of the week. There's a lot of attention on it. It's a top, I'd say, 5 matchup. It's a top 10 matchup, but should be interesting.
Helen says, be careful in Athens. You will need Tammy, Thompson, bail bonds if you aren't careful. And look, if you notice, I'm gonna have to ask Tammy because she says servicing Lauderdale, Newton, Clark, and surrounding
areas.
What about surrounding states?
Surrounding states, I love it.
Could I call you from a state over?
Exactly. So, but yeah, Ole Miss, Georgia is 2:30 game should be fun, and it's the big national game of the week. So good attention for Ole Miss in the state of Mississippi, and it's going to be at Georgia, and we'll see how it shakes out.
Okay. Awesome. Well, what about Mississippi State at Florida?
Florida about a 10-point favorite here. They're in Gainesville. Of course, State had the bye week this past week, and of course, Florida, they had the big win against Texas, and then they turn around and get thumped pretty good by A&M on the road. And there's been a lot of speculation that this could be Billy Napier's last game at Florida as the head coach. There was a big meeting there in Gainesville with the athletic director and the boosters. They always control the purse strings. That no matter what happens this weekend, this is probably going to be it for Billy Napier. So they're going to be in search for a new coach. Of course, State coming off the bye week. State's got a lot of injuries, especially in the backfield. The Swamp's tough to play in, but what is Florida's mentality going to be like going into the game? I think that's going to be interesting for State, how they lick their wounds after losing their last two after winning their first four. So. But that'll be a 3:15 game, so that's tough. You got Ole Miss at 2:30, you got State at 3:15, so gonna be a lot of channel flopping on Saturday. But the Dogs at the Gators.
The Dogs. Okay, Southern Miss at Louisiana.
Southern Miss, slight favorite on the road, about 3.5 here. They go to Louisiana, and of course, they're 2 wins away from being bowl eligible after only winning a couple of ball games last year. I keep kind of pounding the Charles Huff drum here. He's just been a great hire for Southern Miss, and of course, they won last Thursday night over at Georgia Southern, so they've been road tested, and Southern Miss. Kind of one of the sneaky good stories this year.
I spent the weekend in Hattiesburg, actually.
Look at you. Yeah. Look at you.
Yes.
No game going on, but you were there.
Yeah, it was pretty dead. But I enjoyed it.
When there's no game in town, it is. So.
It was fun.
Yeah, so Southern Miss at the what used to be the University of Louisiana Lafayette Raging Cajuns, but now they're just the Louisiana Raging Cajuns.
Oh, yeah. Well, it got too confusing.
No, too long. So too long to put on a T-shirt. So
too long to take the All-Star.
Exactly.
All-Star Team Sports. They couldn't monogram it. Just kidding. They could probably monogram anything.
Yep. All right, you ready for the next one?
Tennessee at Alabama.
Time to say roll tide.
Oh, no.
Look at Cassie. He said no.
She's ready. Helen's already in the
She's already ready. Here we go.
Time from our weekly roll tide.
This is a big one, and we're talking about Tennessee and Alabama, the third Saturday in October. It's a tradition between these two, and it's going to be in Tuscaloosa. It's going to be under the lights there, 6:30. And, the tradition is when you win this game, everybody lights up the old cigars whenever they win this one. So, Tennessee had some struggles last week against Arkansas, and did not like the way they looked against Arkansas. I don't know if they were overlooking Arkansas for this Alabama game, but Alabama, I told you last week, Cash, that they were going to have their struggles against Missouri.
Yep.
And sure enough, they did. But what did I say earlier? Great teams find a way.
And a lot of people didn't like that, especially Helen.
I know. I've seen a few games here or there. But you know what? I don't think Alabama's got anything to worry about.
Yeah.
Here, it's a home game. They're juiced up for it. There's been a lot of trash talk going back and forth between the players. And this is a rivalry you don't need a lot of steam behind because these two just don't like each other. I mean, a lot of people are expecting a high-scoring type of ball game.
You think it's going to be close?
For most of the game. I think Alabama will eventually pull away in the fourth and win by a couple of touchdowns. But Tennessee's got a unique offense. I mean, a lot of folks here have already seen that when they played up at State not too long ago. But Tennessee's got a good pass rush. Alabama's offensive line has been a little, kind of up and down this year. But I tell you what, Ty Simpson has had a great season at quarterback for Alabama. I mean, people think I'm nuts by saying this. If he keeps playing at the pace he's playing at right now, he could be in New York for the Heisman ceremony. I mean, that's how well he's playing right now. He's one of the best passers out there.
We're going to clip this.
Yeah.
And then when it happens, we'll say, I told you so.
Yeah, I told you so.
Yeah, and people think you're crazy. Well, we're going to clip. We're going to save that clip.
We're going to save that clip. Grab it off the editing floor.
No, I'm going to post it on my Queen City Newsfeed page. And I'm going to say Rob Allen predicted this.
Nostradamus predicted this. But yeah, these two don't like each other, and I'm telling you, it's going to be a hard-hitting football game. But I like Alabama. It's a home game for them. They should win by a couple of touchdowns.
Gotcha. Okay, so LSU at Vanderbilt.
LSU and Vanderbilt. LSU's offense has been suspect at best. Vanderbilt, they just lost that game against Alabama, the revenge game a couple of weeks back. This is a tough game for LSU. You got to go to Vanderbilt. It's a weird place to play a college football game. They don't have the biggest of stadiums, and I smell upset here with Vanderbilt, but LSU's defense is just really good. Yeah. And I think with LSU's struggles on offense, their defense being as well, could see a low-scoring game here, but this may be one of those games, kind of like last year when Vanderbilt upset Alabama. Maybe Vandy upsets LSU, so we'll see what happens there.
Okay, then Oklahoma at South Carolina.
Oklahoma, South Carolina. Well, Oklahoma got exposed a little bit this last week against Texas in the Red River rivalry, so this is hopefully a bounce-back game for the Sooners, but South Carolina's had a brutal schedule this year. And that will be there at Carolina. But that's a coin flip game. These two teams are kind of trending in the wrong direction right now. Oklahoma, I wouldn't call them frauds, but thought they were ranked a little too high maybe. Yeah. And that really got proven last week when they got whipped pretty good by Texas. So that's kind of a flip of the coin type game.
Okay, Texas at Kentucky.
Yeah, Texas riding high after that win against Oklahoma. Now they get to go play Kentucky. There's a lot of rumors surrounding Coach Stoops there at Kentucky. They've just had a miserable year so far. And is he going to be hanging around or not? That's another coach that could be replaced.
That's the thing, though. You have one bad year.
You have one bad year, and it changes that quickly. And, of course, Stoops has been linked to some other jobs as well. You know, the coaching thing always – it happens every year. You get coaches bouncing all over the place. But Texas should be fine. You would think letdown game here maybe for Texas going to Kentucky, but Texas just got too much talent. So
okay, Missouri at Auburn.
Yeah, Missouri and Auburn, two teams trying to bounce back from last week. Of course, Missouri lost the tough one there to Alabama. Auburn just could not get any calls to go their way against Georgia. This game is at Auburn. There's a lot of talk surrounding Hugh Freeze at Auburn.
We know a lot about Hugh Freeze.
Yeah, we do know a lot about Hugh Freeze here in Mississippi, but gosh, this is another tough one to – Auburn's offense is not very good. Their defense is great, but Missouri – got exposed a little bit against Alabama. They turned the ball over too much. That game's at Auburn. I might give a slight little nod to Auburn right there because I think they're going to be a little more desperate to win this one.
Well, and home turf, right?
Yeah, it's going to be at Auburn. So, yeah.
All right, Texas A&M at Arkansas.
Yeah, Arkansas riding with the interim coach now in Petrino. It'll be their first game since the firing of Sam Pittman. A&M, they're in the top 5 now. They're a spot ahead of Ole Miss in the rankings. A&M, they're a tough team to figure out, but, man, they have got a great defense. Arkansas looked fairly decent against Tennessee, but, man, that game's at Arkansas. You might say upset here, but A&M's just got a little bit too much there. So,
yeah. All right, is it time to talk about Michigan yet?
Michigan? Go blue. Yeah, we got
for Bill.
Yeah, we got to throw that in for Bill there with Michigan and Washington, of course. This game is going to be at Washington. I'm still trying to wrap my mind around the Big Ten and these games. You get Oregon going all the way to Penn State. You get Michigan going all the way out to Washington. I mean, the travel is unbelievable since realignment. But, Michigan, of course, with Underwood, he was one of the best players coming out of the recruiting class last year. He's starting to get some things together. The running game is starting to gel a little bit more here. But I like them going to Washington. I know Michigan's probably favored in this one. I didn't check for you degenerate gamblers out there. I didn't check the betting spread on this one, but I would think Michigan would be a slight favorite on the road. But still, these long road trips in the Big Ten just blows my mind since realignment. So yeah, Michigan at Washington.
And like we were saying, we have a strong. Yeah,
I think
at least one of the TVs.
I think Bill's going to have it probably on every TV just to say, hey, Michigan only here.
Right.
I'm just kidding.
All right. Well, let's talk about New Orleans Saints at Chicago Bears.
Yeah, NFL schedule a little this week. Of course, we always put the Saints up there because of the regional aspect of it. But they'll be at the Chicago Bears. Bears just got a big win back on Monday night. And Saints at 1-5. They lost to the Pats this past week, and Spencer Rattler played somewhat better. We'll see how that kind of rolls this week with the Saints and the Bears, but that game will be at Soldier Field in Chicago.
All right, and Washington Commanders versus Dallas.
The Dallas Cowboys. Boy, the Cowboys, you want to talk about a fraud. Their defense is a fraud. Their defense is horrible.
I can see the DMs coming in now because the Dallas Cowboy fans are loyal.
Well, there's no defending that defense.
Yeah,
they're pretty bad. Dak Prescott's had a great year.
Yeah.
I mean, he's putting up some points and doing some great things on offense, but their defense is just horrible. Lost to Carolina this past week on the road. The Washington Commanders trying to bounce back from losing to the Bears back on Monday night.
The Bears.
Yeah, the Bears. But that game will be at Dallas, and it's a divisional matchup. And, boy, Dallas needs this one. But, man, they got to clean some things up on defense. It's not very good.
Ooh, okay, Atlanta Falcons at San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, the Falcons, speaking of a team that had a big win on Monday night, they beat the Bills in Atlanta. Now they go all the way out to San Francisco. The 49ers have just been obliterated by injuries. I mean, they lost their all-pro linebacker, Fred Warner, this past week. He had a gruesome – it was one of those injuries – where you see the ankle kind of turn away. It's not supposed to turn, and that was live on TV, and it kind of make you a little sick to your stomach. But,
I hate those.
Well, they've had that injury. They've had injuries all over the offensive line, but somehow they're still in the mix in the NFC West, but they're playing a hot Atlanta team. So we'll see how that one shakes out.
Okay, Tampa Bay Bucs at Detroit Lions.
Bucs may be the best team right now in the NFC, and they go play Detroit, and Detroit's kind of hit a little two-game slide right here. And Baker Mayfield for the Tampa Bay Bucs may be the favorite right now. Right now, like I said, we're only just a few games in, but he's the favorite right now, I think, for MVP in the NFL. But like I said, that changes so much. But as we sit right now, they are the best team in the NFC, and they have the best player. But like we said, things can change quickly on that.
I got you. Okay, so just to kind of recap some things, Rob, I know for the college matchups, you said the game is Ole Miss, right? Ole Miss and Georgia.
No doubt whatsoever. It's going to be Ole Miss and Georgia.
Yeah. What about high school?
High school? Wow. Gosh, there's so many good ones.
I think it's going to be that Lamar at Starkville Academy, those two matches. Or no, Oak Grove at Meridian.
I would say Oak Grove Meridian just because of the tradition and the rivalry aspect of that one. That's probably your big high school game of the week, and it's going to be out at the Ray Stadium. As far as the other high school games go, the Lamar Starkville game is fairly big just because it's a district matchup, and I circle back around to West Lauderdale because that is such a must-win for the Knights to try to get into the win column in district. But, man, it's hard to single one of those out. But yeah, that Oak Grove Meridian, just because of the history of the rivalry, that's a big one right there.
And then what about your JUCO matchups? Which one you got your eye on?
Yeah, probably East Central and Jones, just because of the local feel of that. You know, a couple of area schools playing each other. That game will be over in East Central. And, boy, the Warriors need a win. I know it's been a miserable run this year. Keep your eye on East Mississippi. They're playing better football. It didn't look good in the beginning, but they're putting things together. That could be a sneaky team down the road. So.
Okay. And then NFL-wise?
NFL, probably that Detroit-Tampa matchup. Detroit was one of the favorites coming in to maybe get to the Super Bowl. They haven't looked very clean the last 2 weeks with losses, and Tampa Bay looks very, very good, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And, of course, Baker Mayfield just – and here's the thing about it. Baker Mayfield has played without a couple of his top wide receivers who have been injured. So just think he's playing this well right now, but imagine when they come back. Yeah. They're going to be even better. So, but yeah, Tampa, of course, last time they won a Super Bowl was with who? Tom Brady. So maybe it's another run coming up this year. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. Clip that.
Clip that too. Wow, you're saving a lot. We're going to have a lot of receipts down the road, aren't we? Wow.
And then Helen says, what? Nothing on the Fighting Taylor Swift.
I don't even think they're playing this week.
Is it their bye week?
I think it may be their bye week. Let me go scan that once again. No, they're playing the Raiders. Well, nobody wants to talk about that game. It's the Raiders. They'll Chiefs.
It reminds me of that old SNL skit. We love the Raiders.
Yeah, we love the Raiders. Yeah. We only put the games that are interesting on the list there. The notable games. Yeah, the Chiefs will beat the Raiders. No problem.
Clip that.
Clip that too. Clip that too.
All of Rob's predictions clipped. All right, man. Well, we do want to give one last shout out to our sponsors. Thank you guys for watching the Football Feed with Queen City Newsfeed every week. It is brought to you by Tammy Thompson's Bell Bonds 101, which is located at 600 Constitution Avenue in downtown Meridian. You can call Tammy at 601-513-9588 anytime. She services the areas of Lauderdale, Clark, Newton, and surrounding counties. And, you know, I'm going to have to give her a call, you know, in case I go to another state.
Go
Back to that joke earlier.
Go to Athens.
Yeah, we'll see if she's licensed in that state.
There you go.
But yeah, so shout out to Tammy Thompson's Bail Bonds. She's always on call, and that consultation is free. That first
Fantastic.
consultation. All right, Rob.
Well, I also want to thank All-Star Team Sports. And, folks, when it comes to everything you need for your athletic team, or if you just want to get some customized apparel for your favorite school here locally, if you're headed out to the Ray tomorrow night to support the Cats against Oak Grove or whatever school you support, Jason and them can customize something for you down at All-Star Team Sports. They also have all of the sporting goods for all sports down there. And don't forget about all the cheerleading stuff down there as well. You know, cheer squads work hard, the dance team as well, but they can customize something for you at 601-483-7385.
Yes, and then we also want to shout out to Ujjwal Kumar. He's with the Dillard's Men's Department at Uptown Meridian Mall. He is an official sponsor, and he is also an expert on luxury shopping. He can build your wardrobe from the ground up or freshen up what you already got. He is very attentive, and he can help dress you to impress others. I don't know. I tried to make a rhyme there, Rob. Dress to impress. Dress to impress.
Dress to impress.
Call Ujjwal if you have any sort of needs in the men's fashion area, 601-686-1129.
And finally, got to give a big shout out to Bill and the staff down at Brick House Boutique. Of course, they are right there in the heart of downtown Meridian at 2206 Front Street. They got the largest selection of craft beer in Mississippi and some of great handcrafted food down there as well. Of course, they are the spot for all your games this weekend, including the Michigan game. And, of course, you can check them out there on their website there on your screen, brickhouseboutique.com. And, of course, if you are looking to unwind in Meridian, that's the spot to go with Bill and the staff there at Brick House in downtown Meridian. They'll have all the games on this weekend. Good spot to just plant yourself and enjoy some food and a few drinks. And, of course, be responsible after you're done there at the Brick House as well.
And go blue.
And go blue.
Yeah.
Go Michigan.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. I also want to give a special shout out to our producers. That is Mackenzie Joyner and Nickie Farmer. Of course, all the shows here with the football feed are filmed live at the Digio Strategies station here. We thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you back here, same time, same place next week. And also, you can get those football scores every Friday night after all the games have posted.
Hey, Cash, where you get them scores at?
You get them at Queen City Newsfeed, Facebook, QueenCityNewsfeed.com, all those places. We'll round up all the local high school games that we just talked about, and we'll get them posted as soon as they're available. Rob, you know how it is, though.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes some of those games take a while to come in, so a lot of times we make our posts around 11 p.m., something like that.
Very good. Well, folks, be safe at all these games. Safe travels to everyone, and good luck to the teams. And cheer, dance, band. Hope you have great performances this week as well.
All right. Thank you, Rob, and thank you guys. We'll see you back here next week.